when you woke up and you saw that article or whenever you saw it, some of the words that they were using in there made it seem like you were a monster. I mean, predatory practices. I never heard nothing like that. I'm like, look, I'm like, they tried to do you like Kendrick Dick Drake, predatory practices. I'm like, what the hell is that? Do you feel some type of way about some of the people? I don't know if you know them personally that posted the articles. Do you know anybody personally?
No, I don't know him personally, right? I mean, obviously, it was a colleague of mine at ESPN that wrote the article. That's fine, right? Okay, you wanted your hit piece or whatever you wanted, you got it. You knew how to word it. And who are your experts, though, right? Who are your experts? And one thing I want you to realize is this, D. Rich. We're not here. The company Nilly, we're not here for colleges to like us. Now, we're not beefing with them, but we're not here for the universities to like us. We're here for the athlete. We don't want to be liked by the university because, again, we're holding the universities accountable. Now, we want to work with you, obviously, but we're not here to be liked by you. So when you go and ask the experts of these colleges how they feel about Nilly and my company, of course, they're not going to have anything good to say about it because we're not here for the colleges. We're here for the athletes. We're going to hold you accountable for your words. So those experts, professors such and such at this university and this guy that worked in this university, they're not going to like us because we don't want to be liked by the colleges. We want to be loved by the athletes that we signed up, but we want to have, that relationship, but we don't want to be liked by the colleges. So that was expected.
Do you feel like the process that you guys have going, do you feel like it's going to last? Do you feel like it's sustainable?
I do. I do. I do. I do. Again, since that article was written, 168 athletes applied. My phone was blowing up. Now, some was sending me the article, but others was like, hey, how can I get down with Nilly? When can we set up a call? When can we set up a Zoom? When can we talk? That's when more and more situations start surfacing about what actually student athletes are going through at these colleges, right? This is why over the last 4 or 5 days, I've learned and heard the stories about so many lawsuits that are about to come out. And it's real.
Right. And
And you
just a
know
few
what? Let
weeks
me
ago.
say this to you. And one thing, D Rich. One parent asked me before their kid signed up with Nilly, they asked me, they said, would you let your child do it? I gave them a story. I said this. When we first launched Nilly, I had a Nilly, I got some gear came in, hoodie, fitted hat that had Nilly on it or whatever. Now I have 4 kids. I have 3 sons, 1 daughter. I have a 17-year-old, 13-year-old, and twins that are 7. And they asked me, they said, would you let your children be part of Nilly? I said, well, let me explain something to you. When my package came in into the at the front door and I opened it up and I had my Nilly gear, my oldest son asked me, my oldest son, real talk, he asked me, he said, Dad, what my gear at? I said, man, you worrying about the wrong fucking thing. You need to be worrying about getting these stars behind your name so I can get you signed up with Nilly so you can go start, living your life and get the hell up out of my pockets. And I was joking about
Right.
that part, the last part of it, but I was dead ass serious about you worrying about gear. You see, your dad is part of the NIL space for student athletes, a Nilly company, and you worrying about gear. No, your mind frame is wrong. And I would have my kids sign up with Nilly. I would have someone take the load off of my child and me financially, and then I don't have to deal with the colleges and worry about if my son or my daughter's gonna get paid from the colleges. No, I would in a heartbeat.
Now, when you were in high school, you went to the NBA due to financial reasons. It's a no brainer. Now these kids can get paid. Do you think this is a good thing for college sports in general, just the NIL and all that, or do you think it needs some fixing?
But I mean, it's new to everybody, to be honest with you, D Rich. And it does need some more structure to it, right? I ain't gonna lie. I think in the defense for colleges, they're figuring it out. Everyone is figuring how to do this, right? Like, everyone is figuring how can we have more of a structured plan, right? Like, I believe right now it's a pending case that's going on, right, with the Supreme Court and all this stuff about figuring out some things. Everyone is figuring it out. This is what I will say. Kevin Garnett told me something as a professional, and I was young, as my teammate, KG. He said, Perk, I always watch these young and upcoming all-stars, superstars around the league. Now, this is when we were playing, same team, you know. And he said, I always watch to see what their performance look like before they get the big bag, and I want to see what their performance look like after they get the big bag. Or they still go bring that same passion, that still want, that still that same kill mentality. And it's the same thing with the athletes, right? In college. Like, I think a lot of coaches, their fear is, a lot of guys start getting that big bag. A lot of these athletes get that bag and they get comfortable. Or is it gonna have the same production, right? And I always overemphasize to all these young athletes that I talk to is that, man, this is just the start to what you could go get. Like, you talking about, a couple hundred grand or even some of them a million. Like, nah, like you can go touch 8 figures. You can go, like, this is just the start. And I have to tell them that. I have to tell them that to make sure they keep that hunger. But I mean, I still see guys out there that's performing at a high level that's getting paid
Right.
in college. But
Mm-hmm.
it should be a worry. It's just like anything. Like, are you going to get comfortable or do you want more?
When I get paid on Fridays, the food that's in the refrigerator don't look as good because I want something else. I think that's just a natural instinct. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I got paid. I don't want that ground turkey and that rice today. I want to go have a steak or something like that. So I can only imagine being a kid and having hundreds of thousands of dollars in your pocket. I know it's very important to who your background is, your parents, keeping you on level headed, man. Like, I feel like
You
that's gonna
got
play a
to.
big part.
Is you
Got
right,
to.
be rich, and you gotta have those people in your corner. And then let me say this too, and I say this with all respect because a lot of parents and guardians, they don't mean no harm, but if you don't know anything about this space, and I'm not even talking about my Nilly company no more, I'm just talking about overall. Step back and be mama, be daddy, be grandma, auntie, whoever you are, whatever role you play in that child life, continue to play that role, right? Make sure you do your due diligence to go put somebody in place that's gonna understand and how to work and understand the business of this. I see so many, like, parents now are all of a sudden becoming managers. You don't
Mm-hmm.
fucking know, man. And it's not no knock. I know you want the best interest for your child, as you should, but you got to put somebody in place to handle this because you don't know. You didn't grow up to know this.